薄桃色の花びらをめでてくれるでもなくて心を何に例えよう
Hello, everyone. If I can see you all. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us for Phonetic Friday. Now I can see everyone. Okay. So we're going to drop the link to the Jamboard in the chat, as well as, oh good, I see some of you are joining the Jamboard. And link to the IPA typer. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to start with some review activities just to get warmed up with phonetics. We'll do a little relaxation and then get into IPA transcription for some practice. Sound good to everyone? Okay, cool. So we're going to start our little review with consonants. I also have these slides made up as PDFs. If that's helpful, you can look at them in that way. So yeah, yes, good. Min Kim put it in the chat. So you can look at it that way if you want to reference this chart again. And then if you haven't used Jamboard before, let me kind of orient you. When you're on a slide, you can use this little laser. And what you're going to do is circle the correct phoneme. And we're going to do that on every slide. Everyone see that laser? Okay, good. So that's what we'll be using as opposed to the marker tool, which stays permanent. So the first review we have is our interdental fricatives. So I'm just going to say the words and then everyone just circle the phoneme.
Jill, we have a few people new to phonetics, so maybe you give us a couple samples first.
Perfect. Yes, so should I just do these first two words?
Sure, that's perfect.
The first two. Okay, so also welcome to people who are new to phonetics. That's great. This is for all levels, so I know it can be a little bit of a crash course, but it's all in good fun. So thank you, especially if you're new. I don't want it to be intimidating for you. So together would be this one. It's a voiced interdental fricative. Thank you everyone for circling that with me. So together is voiced interdental. The together, you can feel that if you say together, you can feel that your voice turns on together. And then the next one, healthy. Healthy is this. Voiceless, and you can feel that when you say healthy, health, my voice doesn't turn on with healthy, so that's voiceless. So that's the main thing we're looking for in these first slides, is interdental, whether it's or th, and just the difference is doesn't have your voice turned on, and th, you do, th, you have your voice turned on. Sound good? Okay, so yeah, Teresa.
And just to be fancy, that means whether or not your vocal folds are vibrating.
Thank you. We're so used to telling little kids, like, turn on your voice. Yes, whether your vocal cords are vibrating. So let's go through these next ones. I'm going to say the word a few times, and just when you're ready, you can circle the correct phoneme. So Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving.
Is that how you say it usually?
Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Or do you think it's more Thanksgiving?
Well, there could be some dialectal differences.
So that's a good point. Do you want to talk more about dialectical differences now?
Well, I tend to say the quieter Thanksgiving without any vocal fold vibration. But you never know from a particular person or rate of speech or anything else. So I think it might be more common to have it be voiceless, but we will have individual differences and we'll also have dialectal differences. So it's not uncommon for people not to say things the same way. I have an aunt who says wash for wash, and she says your clothes are cleaner when you wash them. They're cleaner than when you wash them. And I say, okay. So we are going to have differences in how we pronounce things, and that's okay.
For sure. So yeah, for this one, I think you're right. It would be Thanksgiving. So the next one is gather. Gather. Right. Ooh. That one is voiced. And the last one, faith. Faith. Yep. You all got it. It's voiceless. All right, let's do some of our fricatives. So sh and zh, it's the same place. Sh, they're both post-alveolar fricatives. It's just sh, it's voiceless. Zh is voiced. So you have the vocal folds coming together on zh. So let's, I will just say the word a couple times and circle the correct phoneme. Tradition. Tradition. Yes, it is.
And if you want, freeze that sh sound, because post-alveolar connects to where your tongue tip is. So when you get to tradition, just freeze for a moment. Feel where you are on the top of your mouth.
Tradition. Mm-hmm. All right, you all got that one. It's the voiceless. Next one is treasure. Treasure. Yeah, you all got it. It's voiced. And the next one is squash. Squash. Someone's using a marker.
Oh, and that's a good reminder. When you look on the side, there are pens, and then there's also the laser highlighter. So there's a difference between the two, and you'll want to be at the very bottom for that laser highlighter.
There we go.
Actually, this might be a good time to jump in here and say that somebody in the chat has asked for a refresher for Jamboard because they are new to it.
Thank you. So when you open up this Jamboard, let me look at the chat. So is everyone able to get into the Jamboard so they can look at it on their own computer? So once you have this open, and Minkim, you can repost those links just for anyone who jumped in later. Open up the link to the Jamboard, and then what you want is this laser here at the very bottom, the tool list on the left. You want the laser so that when you write, it just disappears. And all you're going to do is use that one tool to circle. When we get to writing our transcriptions, I'll show you what tools to use then. But for this, it's just the laser pointer and you're just using it to circle. Is that okay? Anyone having a trouble using Jamboard? Looks good. Okay. So we did squash. You guys got that? Let's move on to cashmere. Cashmere. Excellent. It is voiced. And the last one is showers. Showers. Yep, that one is voiceless.
And I just want to point out what a great job you did putting the Z on the end, because we don't say showers. We say showers.
Thank you. Good point. Showers. All right. So now we're moving on to our nasals. N, N, do we want to review some phonetic qualities of these? These are both velar. It's a velar and an alveolar nasal. So Teresa, is there anything specific I should have people look for as far as placements for these?
Well, let's go ahead and kind of do one. So if we just say n, n, you're going to feel your tongue tip lift versus ng, ng, like in sing, and you should feel your tongue tip and your whole back of your tongue pulling back. So we're making a difference now between sound that's coming out your mouth or sound that's coming out your nose. And so that's part of what we're doing with the nasals. And we can talk about whether your velum is raised or lowered, and that's going to send air out one way or the other. But we're on the nose right now.
On the nose. Okay, perfect. So go through some examples. So we're just looking for the I should have said this earlier. We're just looking for the blank here, just in case that isn't clear which phoneme we're looking for. The blank. So we're looking for that blank one. So we'll start with the first one is winter. Winter. And you can circle the missing phoneme. Winter. Right. It's the top one. And the next one is sing. Sing. Exactly right. It's this one. The next one is rain. Rain. Perfect. You all got it. Next one is bling. Bling. Yep, it's this bottom one. Good job. And lastly, baking. Baking. Awesome. Yep. Bottom one. Good job, everyone. All right, we have our affricates. And these are voiceless and voiced. So ch and j. So again, you're just thinking about it's in the alveopalatal placement, ch, and then you're just thinking about are your vocal cords coming together, not so ch versus j. So ch, ch like church, j like judge. So the difference is just the voicing. So we'll do the same thing. We're going through some examples and circle the blank. So which phoneme is missing in the word jacket? Jacket. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's the voiced. I was saying jacket to myself for a while to try and hear whether or not it really sounded much different, because I think in some context it can get devoiced. So I was like, when I was writing this one, jacket, I was kind of thinking to myself whether or not it's voiced or voiceless, and I think it depends on the context. But I think in general, it's voiced, right, Teresa? Jacket.
You're talking about maybe partial devoicing,
Yeah.
which could happen depending on context. But I would agree with you that in most senses we would have it as voiced.
Yeah. So you all got it. Jacket. All right. The next word is branch. Branch.
Thanks for checking. Partial devoicing sometimes happens when the sound before it is voiceless or there's silence before it. So we have to make fast transitions when we speak, which means that sometimes characteristics of what we just said carry over to what we're about to say.
Yeah. I think maybe that's why I was, if you just say jacket in isolation, it doesn't have anything before it. Because I was thinking, I was like, it's not super, you don't say jacket, it's lighter. So maybe that's one of the reasons I was fiddling with that one.
You would compare it to like my jacket versus jacket. And I think you would hear a slight difference depending on whether you had a voice sound right before it.
Yeah, that makes total sense. All right, so the next word, what is the final phoneme here in foliage? Foliage.
I swear, that's a tricky word because there's many more vowels in there than you think.
Yeah, and you can see my kind of last minute corrections to try and fix my transcription on here. But yeah, it's the foliage.
And we sometimes overlook that, and we can be confused by spelling because sometimes the spelling isn't going to capture all the sounds we're going to say. And words with foreign language origins.
Yeah. But yeah, you all got it. It's voiced foliage. Good. Next one is chili. Chili. That's right. It's the top one. Great job. Last one, magic. Magic. Right. It's voiced. Good job. Let's go on to some vowels. So we're going to get a little oriented to the vowel quadrilateral here for a minute. I know maybe not everyone is super familiar with this. So before we get into identifying different vowels within words, I'm just going to have you listen to individual vowels that I'm going to sustain and then circle them within the vowel quadrilateral. And so the vowels here start with our high front vowels, like E. The back corners are back vowels, like oo. Down here we have our low vowels, ah. And then in this top corner, low front vowels like ah. So those are kind of the four directions. So this is the front of your mouth, basically. This is the back. This is where your tongue is low. So this whole thing, yeah, low and forward versus low and back. So you can kind of think of this vowel quadrilateral as being like a side section of your mouth almost, where depending on, and you can imagine that your tongue is like taking up different positions in the vowel quadrilateral to make different vowels. So
That was amazing. And I also want to add that the little tiny boxes in the back are when your lips are rounded.
yeah, oh right, thank you. So we have the ooh, the rounded vowels versus the run. So these ones are all rounded. Yeah, perfect. And then I think this circle, I believe, denotes stressed vowels. Is that what that denotes?
Tense versus lax.
Tense, yeah.
And that A really should be a diphthong. I'm sorry about that. That's my fault.
This one?
When we look at the A sound, it should actually be a full diphthong, not a monophthong, but it's okay.
And in English, this is always a diphthong. If we're speaking Italian or something, this might be. Do we have a in English?
Occasionally, and please be careful with absolutes in general because it's just phonetics. Once in a while, you have a long multisyllabic word that has an A sound in it that gets slightly reduced. But for the most part, we have it as a full diphthong.
Yeah. Okay. So in my practice slides, we'll focus on this as a diphthong. Okay, so I'm just going to say a random vowel and just circle what you hear. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. That's right. It's a high back rounded vowel. Good. Yep. The low front vowel. Okay. Aw. Aw. Yeah, this one. I always liked, I should have practiced this one more because I'm trying to say the aw as in caught. Kind of, I struggle with this. Does anyone else really struggle with this?
Are you talking about the coffee?
Coffee. Mm-hmm. Because
I could just a little bit.
Coffee. Yeah, I think because it's not in my this all is not in my dialect. So I actually I don't even know if I'm super capable of producing it.
I believe in you. And yes, it's not a West Coast thing at all. But that doesn't mean we can't just say our ah and then just pucker a little bit.
Yeah. But you guys all had it right, because when I say aw, I say this one. This low back vowel. But yeah, aw. Am I saying that right? Aw.
Like the difference between saw versus like, oh, that's so cute. So we do a little bit of pucker when we say like, oh, and we sort of think something sweet. So we'll do it a little bit on the West Coast, but we don't necessarily put it in words. Like coffee.
Yes.
And I would do stop with the ah, but I'm West Coast.
Stop. Yeah. You guys got it. It was that low back vowel.
All right. I've got my Midwestern accent, so I say stop. Stop.
Yeah, keep going. Like do the more exaggerated version, just so we can really hear it.
Of her accent?
Like stop. Stop. Stop.
Thank you, because sometimes we hear these little tiny differences and we're not sure what we're hearing, and that's us picking up on some regional differences.
Excellent. Let's just do a couple other identifying and then move on to our examples. E, Perfect. And last one. I know it's hard because it's out of context. So like cup would be this. If it was multi-syllabic and you had the unstressed, then it would be the schwa. You're right, but yeah, just itself would be this one. Yeah, about that.
Hey, Teal.
Yeah.
It looks like Allison had a question in the chat that I'm curious about too. She said, rhotic vowels, are they not considered to be rounded, or does it vary depending on who you ask? I feel like my notes say they're rounded, or I remember that from Andy's class, but I think it might be.
You're gonna get in arguments about that. Not everybody rounds. Many people do, but not everybody does. So we can't say 100% of people do one thing. Some people are going to round, some people aren't. And you can tell with because you can sometimes say a word in smile, girl. And if you can say that in smile, it doesn't require rounding. But many people watch them and they'll say girl and they'll say girl, and you'll see the pucker. So you just have to watch that person's sound.
That totally makes sense.
It's not every requires rounding.
Right. I feel like that's always the phonetics answer. Like, well, it kind of depends. Like, well, maybe.
I have a question about Kristen's stop too. Does that sound further forward as well? It sounded more forward to me. Yeah.
I felt
almost
that
like
too. And it's not as
this-
much rounded, but a little bit
Almost more like
fronted.
that. Yeah.
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 I think I've got like that vowel is like the low central almost, which it's like a vowel that we don't use in English, but it's like very dialectal.
Well, but some of us don't use in English, right?
Just my family.
Right.
My mom.
Yeah, I put that phoneme in the chat. It's the A with the serif. Yeah.
I was like going over it in my mind too, because like I also speak Spanish. So I use that A and I was like, how do I say stop? And I was like, is it a California thing? Like, nope, I think it's a bilingual transfer.
Sure. Awesome. Great questions. And we are going to get to rhotics. So we will get practice with those. But let's move on to just identifying some vowels. So we'll start with our diphthong. So I will again just say the word and then circle the correct diphthong with your laser here. The first one is bake. Bake. Awesome. Good job. Yep, this is top one. Next is quiet. Quiet. Perfect. Yep, you guys all got the diphthong right. This is another one of those words with it's multisyllabic. So I was noting the schwa, and this is where you would hear the schwa, quiet. So I don't necessarily say quiet. Some people might. It depends on the context and on the dialect. But if we're doing like a more broad transcription, you might have this with quiet. In speaking, it might be more like quiet, where we don't that becomes a schwa. All right, but y'all have the diphthong right. Yep, yay. So the next one is mild. Mild. Sorry, something popped up on my screen and Oh no. There we go. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So mild is this one. All right. Next. Wake. Wake. Great. Good job. And light. Light. That's right. It's this second one. Good job. All right, and we have our high back vowels. So oo, these are both rounded. And it can be kind of hard to hear the difference, but it's oo is this top one, and is this bottom one. So you'll kind of, it's, yeah, you'll kind of say oo and and that's just the, is that just the height of the vowel, Teresa? Ooh is a little bit higher.
So we're thinking about like your tongue placement. So
Mhm.
whether it's a little bit more close to the roof of the mouth or a little bit dropped from there. So like vowel height.
Vowel height. So the is a little bit dropped. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's go through some examples. So circle the missing vowel in boots. Boots. Good. It's this top one. And then book. Book. Good. The second one. Next is moon. Moon. Yep, it's that top vowel. And then this word, we look for the first vowel in football. Football. Yeah, good job. It's the bottom one. And the last word is cook. Cook. Good job. It's the bottom one. All right, we have our mid-back vowels. So the first word, circle this missing vowel in home. Home. Good job. And you guys got this one. So this, I should have said, this top vowel is O. These are both diphthongs. O, and this is oi. This top one is O and oi. Sorry, I didn't review that first, but you guys all got it. This home is this top vowel. And then glow. Glow. Sun. Yep, it's the same as home. Next word is toys. Toys. Yep, you got it. It's the bottom. Snow. Snow. Perfect. The top one. Last one is coins. Coins. Yay! The bottom one. Good job. You guys are so good. We're gonna do rhotics. So this is one, it might be a really helpful chart to have if you also have the PDF open. maybe have that up in the corner, or just go back and forth. Feel free to scroll back to this chart because it has both the IPA symbol and then an example, which is really helpful. So like this first one is it's that stressed in a single syllable one. And then we have kind of the same sound, but unstressed as in singer. So her versus singer. And then we have all of these lovely rhotic diphthongs and one triphthong. So just to go through these, this first one is ear. So ear. Next one is air. Air. This one is tricky. Or, as in tour. I say tour. So it's always like, this one is a really hard one to find examples for because I don't really say this, but yeah, it's oor.
Sewer is not a bad example. I mean, it's not a happy thing, but it's not, it's an okay word for it.
That's always the example that comes up. I think that's really like the only thing is sewer. That's the only thing that I don't really pronounce any other way. Yeah. And then we have or and are and ire. So those are all our rhotics. And we have several pages of practice, so don't you worry. So this first one is just and so this is unstressed, this is stressed, but it's all just so let's go through again. I'll say the word and circle the correct phoneme here. The first word is fur. Fur. Great. Yep. That's that bottom one. Next word is the second vowel here. The second, well, the missing, the blank here is that's the one I want you guys to identify. It's cider. Cider. Exactly. It is unstressed. Perfect. Next is bird. Bird. Yay. Good job. All right. Yep, it's the bottom one. Next word is December. So we're now in, hard to believe, December. Yeah, this one's tricky because there's only syllables, but you're right, it is unstressed. December. And then the very last one is evergreen. Evergreen. Yeah, good job. This is another weird one, but yeah, the first syllable is stressed, so we have evergreen as opposed to evergreen. So, yeah, good job, everyone. Let's go to the next one. So we have our rhotic diphthongs. So this is or, and sorry, error. Yeah. Or an error. I'm getting ahead of myself into the triphthong. Or, huh?
An or is rounded.
Or, yes.
But that doesn't mean every other is rounded, but or has that automatic rounding.
Oh, right, yeah. Or, yeah, like horse. To get rounded. So or and error. So let's start at the top. Our first word, circle correct, rhotic, is gourd. Gourd. Yeah, great job. It's that top one. And then let's do the first blank here in the word airport, airport. Right, air, it's the bottom one. Let's do the second blank in airport. Yeah, port is this one. Good. And what's the missing in the word corn? Corn. Tony's drawing a candy corn. Corn. Good. Yep. Got it. And next is prayer. Prayer. Good. Yeah, it's the bottom one. Prayer. Good job. And last one, sports. Sports. Great. Yep, the top one. Good job, everyone. More rhotics. All right. So this is that weird sewer vowel rhotic here, ooer, and ear, as in your ear that you hear with. So the first word is cheer. Cheer. I can't tell what you all are drawing. It's funny. I'm drawing little patterns. It's cute. Yep, you got it. It's the bottom one. All right. The next one is pure. Pure. Yeah, this is such a weird rhotic. Yeah, it's pure. It's this top one. I say pure. So, but this is always, there's not very many examples, so that's why. But yeah, I think most people say pure. But the strict example would be pure. All right, next is deer. Deer. Yep, that like that deer. Deer. Good. Yep. And last one is epicure. Epicure. Yeah, that top one. I had to look this up. Apparently, epicure is someone who's like into cuisine, apparently. So I figured that was relevant for cozy home-based theme stuff. There's Epicureans in the audience, I'm sure. Oh wow, we really the last one. Okay, wow. We're gonna get to some practice people after this one. Just a few more. So these are all the rhotics. So this makes it a little bit harder. So the first circle, and it's gonna be harder to circle because you have to circle time here. So the first one is squirrel. Squirrel. Yeah, I think it's this top one, right, Teresa? Squirrel. Yeah, it's kind of confusing because it's a long word, but yeah, it's just one vowel, one rhotic, squirrel. All right, next is ginger. So this last one in ginger. Yeah, you guys got it. And then the next one is, this is a multisyllabic word, but we're looking for the blank here in cranberries. Cranberries. Yeah. It's that air. Air is in the air that we breathe. Next one is scarf. Scarf. Yeah, it's this one. Awesome, awesome. And the last one is fire. Fire. Yep, that's our trip song right there. Good job. Wow, y'all did so good. That was such a quick review because everyone had it down so well. So I figured we would do a real quick little relaxation before we jump into our transcription. So the theme of today is coziness. So I'd like you all, this just be like a couple minutes. Just imagine being cozy and think about what it's like outside. Think about what's around you in the room. What sort of clothes do you have on? What sort of food or drinks do you have? Who is with you? And what sort of activities are you doing? So take just a few more seconds just to fully imagine yourself being cozy. All right, thank you, everyone. Don't you love being cozy? I love being cozy. All right. So then we're going to move on to some transcription. I ran out of space in my slides because apparently Jamboard only has 20. And now I've made this one really sideways. So we're going to do some breakout groups. I've made a few prompts for you guys to think of words associated with coziness that you can then transcribe words or phrases, and then we'll just practice transcribing them in breakout groups. You can use either the marker tool, this pen tool, if you want to like freehand things, if you're good at that sort of thing. Or you can use this text tool here to copy and paste things from the typing. And Min Kim, if you could, yeah, thank you. You already did it. She dropped the IPA typer in there. So feel free to use whatever you're comfortable with. And there'll be blank slides for each group at the end where you can share your transcriptions. So we don't have a lot of time, so I figured you guys can just write your answers to any of these. I was going to break it up and do 2 at a time, but let's just answer any of them. So you can write about what you'd like to do on Cozy Nights In, what your favorite thing about this time of year is, what your favorite comfy clothes are, and what your favorite comfort foods are. So in your small groups, just write your answers to those in IPA. I also wrote up a word list if you need some ideas. It's in the last page of the PDF that we linked to. So I will put you all in breakout rooms. Here, if I can get back. Oh, I think I have to shop. Oh, here it is. Yeah.
And Teal, do we have a time on this, like a time limit?
Since we are at 4:50, y'all can just work in your. I think we can just work in our breakout rooms, and we can come back together for like the last couple minutes to debrief. But I don't think we should take more time than that. If that's okay.
Sounds great.
Okay. So Sign. Okay, I think that'll be, sorry, I'm just assigning everyone really quick. Okay. All right, I'll see everyone back here shortly before 5. Thank you, everyone.